Welcome, Be Stellar Crew. I'm David Wyrick.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Alexander Stoich, and as always, we're coming to you live from Joplin, Missouri.
Man, what a week! Let's see. We've had guests the last couple weeks. It's been fun, exciting. Had a little break here. Should have a good guest next week. I met another guy this morning. Young entrepreneur. Invited him on the show. He said maybe in December. Getting into the holidays. You know, this world is getting funny.
Why do you say that?
Like, gosh, man.
Is it about the scams that are actually working?
Scams that work. Well, people are just so untrusting now, man. Like, they were talking about this morning in the Million Cups meeting about hackers are getting so good that they're sending you emails from people that you know with companies, and they like steal those people's logo, and like just their verbiage is a little different. Maybe the email address has like a 1 in it, so the email address is almost the same, and they're like just like wanting you to click on the attachment so they can basically hack into all your stuff. Saying that, I understand where people see scams. I see scams. We live in the Midwest. I had a conversation with a couple of people this morning after Million Cups about how like the mindset here is so like
Different.
We do, one of the things we do financially is we do life insurance. And, obviously we're in it, and if you talk to people that sell life insurance, that promote life insurance, we do it because we have an understanding of
we understand what is it, we're trained on it, we kind of, we understand, everybody uses it, man. The banks use it, big institutions use it, corporations use it.
Rich people use it.
Rich people use it, right? About to a regular guy, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it's for a regular guy?
Right.
It's a scam.
No, it's a scam. But man, I told this lady this morning. They do insurance for a company. They have their own like shop, and she said that they've talked to people, and like somebody will like literally be dying right beside them, and they're like, well, do you want to get life insurance? No, I'm good. And they're like, literally, you're experiencing it right now.
Yep.
And I told her, like, do you imagine how many people would, like, their families would be so much better off
financially
if, like, somebody just would have decided, let's put $50 a month back?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'm not talking even about, like, to the point of loaning yourself money or retiring tax-free or any of those things that you can do with life insurance.
All the other benefits
that come with it.
You can use while you're living, and they can literally change your financial situation.
Or your future's financial,
your
like
kids.
Your kids,
Right?
Kids. Because
grandkids.
Yeah.
The future generations.
Yeah, because dude, I literally saw a guy on Facebook one day selling his truck for $14,000 to pay for his parents' funeral.
And imagine if
my
they
heart
just did
goes
like,
out to him.
if they did like 20 years ago, right? They put away like, I don't know, what, $30 a month?
Yeah. Even term insurance.
Yeah, like whatever. Anything.
Just something to just pay for the. Don't leave your family worse.
In financial hardship.
Yeah.
After you're gone. Think about it this way. Life insurance. People always think that people you're leaving behind benefit and you never benefit. That's not true. There's a lot of living benefits. That's why it's called life insurance, not death insurance. Okay? Life insurance, you can use it when you're alive. Okay? You can use it for, they have things attached to them like chronic illness riders, critical illness riders, concierge riders, right? There's a lot of things that you can use from life insurance while you're living. Tax-free retirement.
Yeah.
Okay? These guys don't even understand. A lot of people don't even understand that if you have your money in the bank, most likely some of that money is inside of a permanent life insurance policy. That is how the banks insure your money. So instead of you actually putting it in the bank where you're not gaining any interest on it, the bank actually gains interest off of it, right? And then when you die, okay, all your investments that you don't get to use, if you put it in other accounts, heavily taxed and go into probate and all kinds of other stuff. That's a whole different, conversation. But you can actually pass that on to your family, man. Like you said about a guy selling a truck for $14,000, bury his parents. Imagine if they just put $20 away I don't know, 20 years ago,
Yeah,
for 20 years.
50,000 or $100,000
Yeah.
policy.
Like
Term
what's
policy.
20 bucks a month? What
Yeah.
is 20 bucks? It's
They'll
nothing.
spend that on stupid stuff.
You spend it on anything. Like you won't even notice it.
No.
Like drink less coffee.
Yeah. Well,
You
you know,
know?
and on the opposite side of that of the life insurance spectrum, it does build cash value inside of permanent policies. You're
Yeah.
finding out, like, you're watching all these people on TikTok and all these people on Instagram and all this stuff talk about famous people dumping money inside of insurance so that they can, instead of going to the bank for a loan to buy a house or to buy a car, they loan themselves their money.
Yeah, they
It's their
become
money.
own bank.
They become their own bank.
Yep.
But how do you, podcast listeners, how do we convince you of this? How do we tell you that we're trying to help you have a better life without sounding like we're a scam? I put stuff on Facebook. Scam. I'm like, it's not a scam. Like, give me 30 minutes to show you.
And this is why. Because people, okay, ego is the success inhibitor. Remember that.
Okay.
Right? So what he does is, if you don't know something and you have an ego, you're not gonna actually go out and learn it. It's easier for you to just push it off, call it a scam, okay, instead of actually looking into it and try to educate yourself on something else that might be able to benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do, it's easier to just say, oh, it's a scam, screw it, I've never heard of it before. But think about it this way. Look at this beautiful society we have these days. How many things do we not know that benefit people? Plenty of them.
Right.
Hundreds, thousands
Sure.
of things, right, that benefit people, right? But people are just not willing to learn it. And because they don't know it, they're not willing to learn it, it's just easier to push it off and call it a scam than actually look into it, right? Because their ego gets in the way of learning something new. They think they know everything. That's the problem, I think.
Well, in a society where you can literally learn anything, it's not like it was 20 years ago. It's not like it was 30 years ago. And sadly, with the innovation of technology, there are scams out there. And it's hard. It's hard for me to listen to somebody else that wouldn't actually have a conversation with me. But God, dude, I get phone calls constantly. You see the ads on TV and on YouTube of robo-killer apps because man, it's just a constant reach out and let me take your money kind of thing. But that's the society we live in, and it probably will just get worse.
It will.
Let's be honest. So, I mean, yes, navigate your way, but also it's okay to learn. It's okay to learn new things. It's okay to diversify not only your financial portfolio, but your learning portfolio. Don't be just another statistic of yes, our family's poor, and we never did anything to get out of it. Yes, even if I were to die today, my family becomes part of the 1%.
Yeah, same here.
Even though we're not now,
Yeah.
they will be
Yeah, of
if I
course.
was to pass away. So if I go missing all of a sudden,
We'll investigate better.
but set your family up just to where they don't have to worry about your bills, man.
It's just
At
the importance of it. Think about it this way. If you're a man out there, if you're a man and you're the breadwinner of the house and you're going out there grinding every day, bringing in a pay, bringing in a steady paycheck, whatever, however, you have a business, doesn't matter what you got, what modes of income earning you use, think about it this way. As a man, it should be your responsibility to shield your family from financial hardship. So, if you're only working, think about it this way. What happens to your wife, to your kids, in case something happened to you? If you're out there, you don't have, hundreds of thousands of dollars put aside, you're living maybe paycheck to paycheck,
In debt.
you're in debt, all this other stuff that normal people struggle with, and chances are 75% of the United States is living just that way.
Probably higher.
Probably more than that. So it is your responsibility to go out there, insure yourself, okay, to make sure you pass on a legacy to your wife and kids in case you die. Think about it this way. You have cell phone insurance. You have house insurance. House insurance. When was the last time you used house insurance on anything? When was the last time your house burned down?
Car insurance, same way.
Car insurance, when was the last time you were in an accident?
Yeah.
Even if you were like once every like 10
Why not?
years.
Every time you buy something at the store, they ask you if you want a 2-year protection plan.
That's what I'm saying. You buy insurance on a chainsaw. Like actually, I bought a chainsaw this morning. They asked me if I wanted a 2-year protection for extra $29 or whatever, and I declined it. I don't need it. It comes with a manufacturer warranty. But I'm saying like your life.
You don't.
One thing.
You don't come with a manufacturer warranty though.
That's what I'm saying. None of us do. We can croak at any time. Like you can just simply go to work, get in a car, get sideswiped by a semi truck, and you're gone. Okay. And then what happens to your family? Now they just incurred a funeral bill. Okay, they lost all the income that you were making. All right, what happens to their family? And for all of you men that listen to this, think about that. Think about it. If you're in financial struggle right now, okay, think about it. How much worse your family would be if something happened to you. Okay. Also, your wife too. You want to insure your wife. Why do you want to insure your wife?
Because whether she works, and sometimes nowadays wives are the breadwinners.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's still in the reverse fact. What happens to your family if the breadwinner loses out? And the other one...
Devastation.
Right. What happens with the other one? Because now, if the person that stays at home is no longer staying at home, right? Who takes care of your kids?
Yep.
You're grieving. You're not going to want to go to work, right? So now you've got more responsibility because you don't have a helpmate.
More expenses.
You have more expenses. You've got to try to figure out how to take care of your kids, take care of yourself in the midst of this travesty. That's what it's for. You have car insurance, dude. There's people that pay $300 or $400 a month for car insurance.
That's crazy. That's just insane.
You know what I mean? Like,
because they want a fast car.
What we're trying to say though is like, take the right steps, and you don't have to start with some great big policy. Just like start and then learn about it. Learn about how it can benefit you.
Yes.
At
least go out there and educate yourself on it.
Find someone to educate you.
Sit down with a life insurance professional and kind of ask the questions, right? How can it benefit you? What do I get out of it? Do I have any benefits while I'm living? Okay, there's a lot of great questions you can ask to learn about it. At least be educated on it so you can make a sound decision. Just if somebody approaches you with it and you just call everything a scam, you're never going to change your situation. Like straight up.
Well, what's sad is that we do a lot of free financial education. And we do free financial education classes. And I actually offered on Facebook, I'm part of a bunch of like dad groups, just like dad helping dads, things like that, just kind of find a group of people, and I offered on there about doing free financial education. And the admin didn't approve my post. He said, nothing's ever free. I was like, you don't know because you're not even giving me a chance. Like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I want you to be able to take care of your... Dude, I listen to them all the time. We're in financial hardship. I just lost my job. My wife just left me. All of this stuff's happening in their family. And all of that stuff affects you financially.
It does.
So are you ready for that? Is there a way to be ready for that?
Do you have an emergency fund set up?
Yeah.
Do you know how that works?
Right. Yeah. What can I talk to a guy the other day? I was trying to talk to him. What can I do for my kids? This is what I'm looking for. High yield. Something that I can put away for months that will build their money for when they're 18. I said, bro, I got you. You know what? Haven't heard back from him. So we got all these people that are interested, right? Oh, yeah, I care about my kids. No, you don't. I'm just going to say it. You don't. Because we'll talk to people, yeah, I want to start do $30 a month. $30 a month, right? They could set their kids up for the rest of their life. $30 a month. Start now. No, I can't do it. We're financially struggling. But I got a new tattoo. I got new rims on my truck.
Whole back piece, right?
And I'm just like, I thought you cared about your kids. You know what I mean? Like, you listen to people all the time. I want to get something set up for my kids. Dude, you probably spend $30 on dumb stuff. But you all care about my kids. No, you don't. Because, as a society, probably 70% of us weren't financially ready to become an adult.
No.
Nobody
More than
taught
that,
us,
man.
right?
More
So
than
we're
that.
in learning mode.
But nobody teaches it,
And
man.
shout out to everybody who teaches your kids how to be financially responsible. Straight up. Like, that's great. You know, my daughter told me the other day, my youngest one, we're riding to school, right? She goes, Dad, I think I'm just going to buy a cheap car so I don't have any payments. And then I'm going to save all that money so that way I can buy whatever I want. I was like, God, you're 11. You're smarter than I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that makes me happy because I want my kids to be financially responsible and I want them to have something to work with, which is why I have stuff for my kids. Because I'm not just going to sit here and tell you that you don't care about your kids. And I don't mean you don't care. I'm talking about like their financial future. That's kind of what I mean. Not that you don't care about your kids, but set them up. Set them up with something
Well, actually, I
that
know.
gives them a shot.
Well, actually, I know a person. This is a terrifying story, actually. This person sold life insurance, and he approached his niece and said, "Hey, $25 a month, right? You guys are very young, for your husband, to be insured, for I think $600,000 or something like that." They said, "Oh, we can't afford that right now." 2 months later, he was literally killed on a head-on collision from another car, right? And the $26 a month, they did not want to pay for life insurance. She literally lost everything they had. A house, cars, had to move in with her parents, right? 2 kids, 2 little kids. Dude, it's insane, man. $26 a month. So you guys, think about what you spend $26 a month on. Like, think about it. You probably go, like, don't go watch a movie one day or
All
something
your
like that.
streaming accounts. Well, then I couldn't watch Netflix.
It's just so crazy to me, man. It's just so crazy to me. Like, I always told my wife, like, I will be always worth more dead than alive. Like, straight up. So as my net worth goes up, I'm just going to get more life insurance. More life insurance. Because whatever I pass on to my family, I want it to at least be double or triple. Whatever I have. So if I worked and I have $5 million saved up, I want to make sure they get 15 when I die.
Yeah.
Like, straight up like that. I have 3 kids. I want them to be able to take on the goddamn world, like literally do whatever they want to do. When it
Have
comes
the
to
ability.
business,
At least have the ability.
have the ability to start businesses, start schools, start seminars, start whatever you want to do. Because at the end of the day, it's not really about us at all. It's about what we give back to the community, what we give back to our families. And I believe once you leave them a lot of money and you teach them properly
How to use it.
Right?
Not just
Okay,
some trust
they can
fund
go
kid.
change. Because deep down, each one of us wants to help our community. We want to go serve people,
Yeah.
right? We want to go educate, teach, help the homeless. Like Dan Pena said, you want to go save the Amazon forest, you got to have some money, right? So if I might not be able to do that, let's say I work hard my whole life and I never get to that point, right? Because you never know what the life's going to take you, right? You get sick tomorrow and nothing happens, right? But I want to make sure that my kids are taught properly and they're going to have the means to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's called a legacy.
It's called a legacy. Yeah, you want to leave a legacy to your family. You don't want to just go
'Cause they
from
might be-
broke to more broke.
Because they might interview your kid. And they'll say, man, you're famous for doing this. And he's going to go, yeah, my dad. My dad showed me how to do this.
Yeah.
Taught me how to do this. My dad worked his whole life so that I had the ability to save this or help these people. And that's the legacy as a parent that you should want to leave for your kid. What will your kids say about you? What are they going to say?
You know what's crazy? So I went to one of our conventions,
Mhm.
and right?
Okay.
He goes, do you know who your granddad is? And I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't.
Mhm.
He goes, would you know him if he was George Washington?
Sure.
Would you know him if he was Benjamin Franklin?
Right.
Would you know him if he was any one of these figures that we studied in history? Or anything like that, right? And I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, I would know him definitely. He's like, the reason you don't know him because he hasn't done anything significant. And I'm like, dude, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, so many people just live day to day, and there's
Well,
nothing wrong with it if that's what you want to do.
Significance requires sacrifice.
But I believe that deep down, everybody wants to get to some type of success, right? That they can, I don't know if we want to call it show off or
Everyone wants to feel significant.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to feel like
recognized.
they helped somebody along the line. Well, probably 90% of people. There are those people out there that are just pieces of crap. But
Yeah, there's the bottom 10%.
yeah, but I think all of us want to feel significant to somebody. I think that's a lot of problems in marriages nowadays and in relationships is that we don't, it's called your significant other. We don't make our spouses feel significant. I mean, I've done it. There's been times that I know that my wife didn't feel like she was significant to me because life just happens. And we get so busy that we forget about those important things and we have to reset and say, you know what, I'm focusing on the wrong things. I should be thankful for who I have in my life. Thankful for the situations that put me where I am today. And that doesn't mean, man, all of us go through hard stuff. Like I'm currently going through hard stuff. And I know that you are too. Yeah, we all are. I mean, even people that have millions of dollars. We crack
more money, more problems.
I'd like to have those problems. I think.
Yeah.
They said money doesn't buy happiness, but have you ever seen anybody that's not happy on a jet ski?
Yeah.
Right.
Or on a boat. Anybody said on a boat?
But to say all that, like, just be prepared. Like, whether in this generation or the next, be prepared. Be prepared in life and in death. And life is hard. But what is it that one guy said? Choose your hard, right?
Yeah,
it's hard to be poor. It's hard to be rich.
Yep.
Choose your hard.
Exactly. So it's hard to be rich. It's hard to be poor. Okay. Which hard are you willing to put up with?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And poor and rich doesn't even have to be monetary.
No, it doesn't. No.
Poor
no.
are are you poor with your personality?
It can
and
be
you need
mindset,
to change it.
It can be family. It can be whatever. Doesn't
And
have to be just money.
And I think what people don't understand is like when it comes to changing those things, it's like it requires a lot of self-reflection. I read a lot of things like on these dads groups. Well, how do I change? It starts with you.
Yeah, it does.
It starts with you picking out the pieces of yourself that make you a bad person and saying, okay, I need to change these things. Listen to people when they tell you, hey, listen, you're doing this. Even if you don't think you are, they're telling you that for a reason. This is what somebody told me one time. When somebody speaks to you and says, hey, you're doing this, even if you don't feel like that's something you're doing, look into it. Because they got that from somewhere. Yeah. They think that for some reason you're doing this or saying these things to them. Why? Why do they feel that way? Where did they get this idea? Okay, there it is. Let me fix it. Because that's the only way you can change. That's the only way you can feel better. Whether it's in your finances, you have to recognize why you don't have enough money, or we have too many expenses. We have too much debt. Do I need to let go of my ego a little bit and move into a smaller house, have a different vehicle, whatever it is, Same thing in your attitude. Okay, do I need to not be so proud? Do I need to admit that I'm wrong?
That's the thing. It's the ego, man.
It's the ego.
Every time it comes down to ego, it's straight up. If your ego is too big, you're not gonna accept anybody else's opinion. You're not gonna accept anybody else's knowledge, whether it's good or bad. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's good to know bad knowledge, so that way you can recognize the good knowledge.
Yeah.
You're not gonna accept anybody's advice because you're gonna think you know everything. I've been there, dude. I've been there, and then I literally, it's very, very hard to look at yourself in the mirror one day and be like, man, you're 28, you're a Marine, you have the title, that's about it. Not a good husband, not a good father, you're broke as fuck, right? You have no money. Like, what is the way forward? Like, you gotta ask yourself, what is the way forward? Like, are you willing to do what it takes? And I believe the person that you're with too has a lot to do with this. Okay? Sure. Like, if you start to make a crazy change, like imagine this, you're sitting and you have a 20-year career and retirement for life pretty much in your pocket, right? And you look over to your wife and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna throw all this away and I'm gonna go start a business I'm gonna invest my whole retirement savings that I've been saving so far into it. It might fail, it may not fail. Okay? We're gonna lose the security of income. We're gonna lose security of insurance, health insurance. We're gonna lose security of all these things that everybody's like flocking to. I literally ran away from. Now, I got lucky in a sense. Okay, you know my situation. But I was ready to drop all that to go onto this route that's so much harder. But I think it's more rewarding and more worth it because at the end of the day, man, think about it this way. You work 20 years, 30 years, 40 years for somebody else. And then in the end, you don't have nothing. You have zero. I couldn't live with myself like that. I don't care. I would rather have a t-shirt stand for the rest of my life. And if that's all it gets to be, just a t-shirt stand 4 times a month at a festival, I'd rather do that for the rest of my life and barely make a living than go work for somebody else and have like $300,000 salary. I'm so tired of these new rules and regulations the corporations put on people. You can't say this, you can't wear that, you can't do this, you can't support this person, you can't support that. Like we're so controlled and we don't even see it. Okay, so how do you become stellar? You go against the norms of society. You go at things that most people would not do.
Chase your dreams.
Chase your dreams. Like, be independent. Be independent. Like, one day just wake up and say, I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'm gonna go do this. I don't care if it offends my parents, my brothers, my sisters, whoever I got, my uncle, aunt. I don't care if my neighbor's gonna get mad at me. I'm just gonna go do this for myself. And most people are not willing to do that. And then another thing, one of the best things, seek out the knowledge. Dude, Google search. Everything you see on the freaking internet, man. If I'm watching videos and a video's, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe things happen to us for a reason. We see things for a reason. So if I'm scrolling through TikTok, I have, let's say, 1 minute of my time, and I go into a video and the video goes, oh, these rich people are putting their money in life insurance. And if I look at it and I say, this is a scam, and I move on, that is exactly why I'm going to be poor for the rest of my life. Because think about it this way. If a rich person that has multi-millions is looking into this, you should be looking into this too. Because you will never become that person or come anywhere close if you don't even try to do your own research, try to change something. If you're looking at yourself right now, you're sitting there, you're like, man, I'm poor, I have no money, I'm about to lose my job, and all this stuff, and you're not willing to change, you're never going to change the situation. You're always going to be in it.
Well, people get comfortable in their misery.
That's so crazy, man.
They do.
And look, and it always gets worse before it gets better. If you hate your job and you're working 60 hours a week, okay, and you start something on the side, it's not going to be easier right away. It might be a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It's going to get harder because you're going to have to work 60 hours a week at a job you hate.
Plus 20
and then
hours a
whatever
week.
the hustle
Whatever
you
you're
have
doing.
on the side until it takes off. But at one point, you're going to have that satisfaction walking up to your boss and be like, hey, listen up, you POS. I'm done. I quit. Go find another slave. I'm
Well,
not
you look
doing it
at
anymore.
look at most of these. We talked about this, I think, in the first episode. Look at most of these rich people, rich motivational speakers, and they'll tell you they were homeless,
Uh-huh.
that they ate out of trash cans,
Yep. E.T.,
that-
man. Eric Thomas.
that they went to rehab,
Yep.
that they saved, exactly,
Yep.
that they scratched and saved their money. They didn't eat out, didn't have fun, or do anything to save money to buy stock. Gary Vee,
Yep.
Yeah,
He said he was making like
$40,000 a year,
$40,000 a year,
saving $9,000
$9
a year.
grand a year. Like,
And
that's crazy.
Yeah, not doing anything, like just being self-disciplined
Yep.
enough to save money. I think that I heard that, like Hannity, who's rich, Sean Hannity,
Yeah.
ate ramen noodles for like 7 years,
Yeah.
saving money,
That's possible, man.
just so to pay off all of his debt. Like, look at all of these people. Unless you're just born into it, which there's people out there that are smart and are lucky to be
Yeah.
born into it. Like,
I don't
all of
think
us
that
are
would be
going.
lucky.
What? You know what I mean, though. Like, their parent, like somebody went through it to get them where they are.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Somebody
mean?
suffered. It's
We
not
just,
just.
we just didn't hear that
Yeah,
part.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? There was suffering to gain whatever it is that we have. Somebody suffered.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
It doesn't just show
Whether
up.
down your family lineage, whether somebody you know, there was suffering. So what kind of person are you going to be? For me, I'm going to be the sufferer.
Yeah.
And if I never see the fruits of it, I'll die knowing there will be fruit.
Dude, Ed Milet says that perfectly. He says, if you see somebody rich, chances are they were not born rich. Okay? Or if they were, somebody down the line sacrificed a lot so they can have that life.
Yeah.
He's like, I was born poor. His dad was alcoholic and all that stuff. He's like, it's up to me to change my family. I think he calls it lineage.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be me that's going to take my family from whatever we're at to the next level. Right? And
there's suffering involved in there.
There's a lot of suffering involved. There, dude, I haven't slept more than like 4 hours in the past month and a half. A day. Just grinding all the time, man. But my kids are not going to have to do that. And now this is the thing. I believe everybody should suffer in some point.
I think you have to appreciate what you have, though.
Yes. And, you know, like if you see all these, like, successful people that say the best thing that can happen to a kid is be born into poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just see it. I think the reason our country is going the way it is right now, because we haven't suffered in a very long time. Okay, so people take everything for granted. The freedom, the things you say, the things you can do. Just you getting out of the house, getting in the car, going to McDonald's to buy McDonald's, and coming back home. You don't have to cook, and you can just do that. That's a privilege.
Well, we get to choose what we eat.
Dude, like 85% of people in the world don't have that.
What did you say when you were a kid? You guys ate a lot of soup? Because it was
Oh
all that.
my God,
it was all. But you know what? You didn't have a choice.
But I will tell you, man, that's why I'm healthier than most
I know,
people.
but I'm just saying though, it's like you didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, do you want Wendy's or McDonald's today?
No.
Do you want Olive Garden or
Yep.
Texas Roadhouse? What do you want? It was, hey, we got some potatoes. That's what we're eating.
So this is what happened, right? So in 1991, the Civil War started, right back in former Yugoslavia, and you guys can look this up if you don't believe me.
It's a scam.
And I was a kid. That grew up in the war zone. My dad used to work at a steel mill before that, and he used to make decent money. We were actually like prepping to build a nice house, like a 2-story house. We dug the foundation up, and boom, war broke out. So we stopped. He already bought all the stuff, like the concrete that he needed, all that stuff, right? And then the war broke out. So we stopped, obviously, right? My dad lost his job, and we went into 5 years of living off the land. 5 years of living off the land. So think about that. You're living nice. You're doing this, and then all of a sudden, I was 5. I barely remember it. Right? I was just a kid. But my parents remember it. They suffered, and then they brought me to the United States. From 5 years of war, went to 6 years of refugee camp. And refugee camp is something special too, right? I actually had a lot of fun in refugee camp because there was a lot of kids there, so we played as kids. A lot of people look at it like, oh my God, it's terrible. It was terrible, but there was a lot of kids. So
you didn't know it was terrible.
Yep, as a kid, to me it wasn't bad. I had a lot of people to play with. I went to school still. I played soccer all I wanted, right? But my parents, they were in their 30s at that time. I'm in my 30s right now. I can't imagine living in a refugee camp, not be able to buy my kid, like bananas was like one time a year thing. I write it in my book, which is going to be published here pretty soon. I'll announce it. But I came to the States and I saw a whole bowl of bananas on my grandma's table when we moved here, and I was like, oh my God, are those real bananas? But grandma's like, yeah, of course they're real bananas. I'm like, can I have one? She's like, eat as many as you want. I ate like 20 at one time because I just could not believe there's a banana on the table, like just a whole bowl. It was like my mom would go to like one of these markets, buy like 3 bananas, bring it back, and then split it between 3 kids. Like you get one, you get one, you get one. All right, you get a banana next year again, right? So, they suffered through that, and they brought us to the United States, and that's all they gave to me, right? In my opinion, like if you think about it. Obviously, they put us to war and all that, like we came here alive and well and healthy. I believe now that my parents did not suffer for all that for me to be a regular Joe Schmo, go work for some corporation, make like $100,000 a year, and wait 40 years and then go fucking retire like a peasant, have no money, live somewhere, struggle for the rest of my life and go die. Like, screw that. Okay, and I was 27 when I came to this realization that I need to do something, or otherwise that's my path, right? So everybody has to suffer in order for the next year. Somebody has to suffer in order for next generation to be where they need to be, right? So my parents suffered like that. That brought me here. I believe that put me on the next level.
Mm-hmm.
America's an evil, like level playing field. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian. I don't care if you're even handicapped people, mentally challenged people. Like anybody, I believe, can succeed in the United States. Like the girl that's rewriting my book, she's paralyzed, but she literally has a business writing people's books. She makes a living that way.
She took what she has,
And that's it.
and she's making a way with it.
That's it. So when I hear all these freaking excuses, man, I'm so sick of it. Everything's a scam. Everything's nobody believes in nothing. People lost belief. The society has lost belief in themselves.
Well, like, and people want to talk about multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing, what it is, like, so, is it's a way for people to have a way to start their own business and have access to products where you don't have to go through a big corporation and make a billionaire more billions, but you can help somebody else make a little bit of commission off of what they're trying to offer you. It's not an evil pyramid scheme.
It's sales.
It's sales. Everything that you deal with is multi-level. When you buy something, like if you go to McDonald's and you pay for it at the cashier, guess what? That cashier doesn't make as much as management, and that manager doesn't make as much as the owner.
Yep.
Guess what? They're on different levels, and everybody gets paid because somebody's getting paid.
Multi-levels?
It's multi-levels.
Multi-levels, wow.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. People just don't like it because it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard because you have to be able to pay your bills, and so if you're not out making commissions, you're not getting paid.
You're not making money.
Instead of I know if I go work for, if I work 15 hours, or if I work $15 an hour for 40 hours a week, is that minimum wage? I don't know minimum. When I was a kid, it was like $5.
I don't know.
Anyways, $15 an hour. Like what is that? It's $4,600 a month or a week. I mean, right before taxes.
Right. You said $15 an hour?
Yeah.
That's $600 a week.
Okay, so I was right. Okay.
So $2,400 a month.
Yeah. Right? Or I can make $2,400 in a day. I just have to go hustle it myself.
I don't know, man.
But it's hard though, right? But it's not guaranteed.
Oh, that's a good T-shirt.
Yeah. I choose hustle every time.
Yeah, I love it.
Look for it on the Be Stellar.
Yeah, so actually, guys, we're launching a podcast, right? Podcast website. It's going to be called bestellar.org.
Got these cool cups.
Yeah, got some good mugs made for us. But we're gonna have some motivational T-shirts for those of you hustlers out there. They're trying to be stellar. They're trying to change the community. They're trying to go out there and help as many people as possible. They're trying to make themselves better. Okay, you cannot make somebody else better if you don't make yourself better first. Okay, first you have to take care of yourself. It's kind of like
learn how to be stellar and then pull everybody else up with you.
And then pull everybody else up. And it starts with you. It doesn't start with nobody else. It doesn't start with the neighbor, with your mom, with your dad. It doesn't start with anybody. It starts with you. You have to be willing to change you, and you got to get yourself to the next level. Mindset-wise, speaking-wise, knowledge-wise. I mean, you think about it, anything. You get yourself better first, and then you can pull everybody else up. So how do you change the community and the world? You change yourself first. Always starts with you. What do you think, David?
I think that's the only way to be stellar. Once you hit that stellar point, you look down on the people that are trying to come up, and you give them a hand. It's part of being stellar. It's helping the people. You hit your point and continue, but reach down.
Reach down, pull some people
Reach down and say, hey, come on, you're better than this.
That's why I like entrepreneurs. That's why, man, I really don't like these big corporations, man. They don't do that. Like
they probably started that way, but because man, once you hit, so I think that if you don't keep perspective, once you hit a certain point, you just kind of lose. You just start throwing money at it, and that's your way of helping.
Yeah.
So I mean, kudos to those people, But I think that you forget about like the mentoring.
Yep.
You
And
know,
think about it this way, like, you mentioned multi-level marketing stuff. Um, if you want to learn how to run a business, go start a multi-level marketing business. If you don't know where to start, give me a call. My information is on the website, okay, alexanderstoich.com. Like, go on there and hit me up, and I'll show you exactly where to start. Uh, and this is the reason I say this. When you go get a job at a corporation, any place you work at, if your manager sees that you're starting to do better than them, okay, you're gonna get written up. They're gonna talk shit behind your back. They're gonna try to fire you
or
any
you're going to
chance they
become
get.
so good at your job that you're never going to move up because they don't want to train somebody else when you're
Yes.
so good at
I've
doing what
heard
you're
I've
doing.
heard of that too. Like, you get so good at what you do that they're like, oh, we can't promote him. Who's gonna do what he's doing right now?
Yeah.
That is so stupid. That is so dumb. Think about it this way: all that talent, all that hard work that you put into this company, and they don't want to promote you because, whatever the reason is, because that they feel like nobody else is gonna be able to replace you. You're like irreplaceable. What happens if you die? I guarantee you they'll replace you within 24 hours, like straight up. So that's not the case. Don't listen to that bullshit. So if you want to get good at business, go find a multi-level marketing. Robert Kiyosaki says this all the time. Go look him up too. He wrote a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's a multi-billionaire, very successful person. He's going to tell you, go find a multi-level marketing because they will train you, they will educate you, okay, they will
Get you
show
out of your
you,
comfort zone.
they will get you out of your comfort zone. Pretty much they will give you everything that you need to be successful. And if you don't believe me, look at every single person that you see right now. Patrick Bet-David, Grant Cardone, Ed Milet, just all these names, okay? Where did they start? Sales and multi-level marketing. So you call it a scam, you call it whatever you want, or maybe society tells you it's a freaking scam, so that way you don't get to that point and they keep you down. You make the choice.
Don't forget to be stellar. Tune in next week. Should be traveling next week. Should be.
Yes, we should be traveling. We're going to confirm it. We have a very, very successful person that should be coming out next week. Stay tuned, and we will publish the episode next week whenever we film it.
Tell your friends about us. Give us a call if you have any questions or information's on his website. Say it again.
Yep, alexanderstoich.com, my first and last name.com. Okay, you go on there, you can listen to our podcast.
Apple,
Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
Yep, we're on a few other ones right now. I just published us on a few other ones over the weekend.
Stay tuned. Journey with us.
Yeah, journey with us. It's going to be a long journey, but we're here to stay.
Have a great week. Thanks.